least that's what the notification says.
That's what the notification says to me too.
Yeah. Okay, so hello. Let me get this full screen. Hello, metaverse world, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever this is showing up. If you don't know me, I'm Michelle Oliver, and I am here with my friend Lisa Michelle, and we both have been working in the midlife women space, and we've come to find out that we've been doing some work together, actually, and we found out that we have another thing in common. And that is, I don't want to call this a controversial subject because I believe that every subject is controversial at this time. But we both share the belief that fasting is a very healthy practice. And I was sharing with her the other day that I really wanted to do a 10-day fast. And to my surprise, she's like, oh, me too. So we thought that in an effort to make ourselves overly visible and share with the world,
Da, 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 da.
hopefully,
Just made me feel like I was doing it.
yeah, we're contributing some value for you, hopefully. But I would like to introduce Lisa Michelle and just have her say hello to everyone. I know this is going to go live on in her group. She has a special Facebook group. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our plan. Okay. So Lisa Michelle, do you want to just say hello to everyone and share a
Yes.
bit?
Hello, hello, hello. I have done intermittent fasting for a long time, and I fasting's just been a part of a rhythm of my life for I would say more than 10 years for sure. I don't know exactly how long, but it's been a while since I've done a fast for a longer period of time. And so when Michelle said that, and it also is a window into my personality, I just jumped right in, said me too. And I think we started within days, right, Michelle? Less than a week from the time you brought this up.
Of the fasting that we agreed?
Yeah.
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 So she just um, said that we can start next Tuesday. And I was like, okay, that means I'm going to drink over the weekend, which I tried to do, but I couldn't really get into it. I mean, it was okay, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is day one,
Yes.
basically. Not basically, this is truly day
This
one.
is truly,
February
this
15th,
is filled with water.
February 15th, 2022. This is day one. We're looking at 10 days. That's what we've talked about doing.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of different ways to do a fast. Um, so I know maybe we can just talk a little bit about that. What we're going to do is check in every day for really short videos of just like a quick update. But I thought today it would make sense to give a little bit of foundation for the value of doing this, why we are choosing to do it, and the way, because I don't know if we'll do it exactly the same way or not. But yeah, so intermittent fasting, maybe we could start there. That is something I just kind of always did. And I didn't tell people because I didn't know about intermittent fasting. And so often people would just say, you're never eating. Why do you never eat? Why are you not eating? And I'd be like, oh, I feel so bad, you know? And then I would just say, I started saying, I eat for fuel. And when I eat for pleasure, you know, it's like I consciously choose that because I just don't feel good when I eat all the time, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I was so happy to hear that when intermittent fasting became a
It's like
thing.
validation.
It's like when homeschooling became popular. I'm like, yay! Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Zoom is a
I was doing
thing.
it already, but oh, you're validating me.
Yeah, I'm not so crazy. So anyway, that's that. What about you for intermittent fasting?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't do intermittent fasting as a regular, well, when I was younger, I did it because I just didn't eat until noon, one, whatever. And then I got into fasting overall, and that's when I learned about intermittent fasting. Like I'd been exposed to fasting from a spiritual mindset, but then I also started looking at fasting for giving my body a rest, giving my digestive system a rest. And then so I would do 1 day fast or 3 day fasts or 5 day fasts. And then for a long season of my life, I fasted 1 to 2 days every single week. And then I didn't start intermittent fasting faithfully until about a year and a half ago. And that was a real game changer for me. But what I noticed is that then I was not doing longer fasts. So I started introducing, because the amount of time you fast has different benefits, gives the body different access to healing. And so when you brought this up to me, Michelle, I was hungry for that type of fast for my body as my body is transitioning. I'm 51 years old. I'm going through some various changes. And also for a deeper, more soulful awareness of what's happening with my body and what's happening with my heart. Fasting gives me that. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to. Although I was so scared, I was terrified.
Oh, and just as a disclaimer, I think it's obvious that we're not medical professionals. We
Nor
are not
giving advice.
no medical advice here. But we do, honestly, I suggested that we go live. Really, it's a selfish reason for me to just not cheat. And I feel like we chose this time of day because this can be the tricky time of day, at least for me.
Absolutely.
Is that how it is for you too?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Because I do intermittent fast as part of my lifestyle, I'm often not eating before 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the day anyway. But this is the time my family's coming together. They're gonna sit down at the dinner table. Like there's just a lot around it. There's a lull, right? Like the
Mhm.
natural rhythm, it starts to get dark. It's just a very easy time of day for me to find my way to the refrigerator without giving any intentional thought to it. I just meander there.
It's because that's where all the answers are, right?
Yeah.
You open the door and look for answers. That's a thing. Yeah, for me, I think it's really I've gotten in a habit in the winter time of writing at night or doing like admin work for the business. And I move from my desk to the couch with my laptop
Yeah,
and I'll get some tea and then I just want to put things in my mouth, it's a comfort thing. It's nothing to do
totally.
with hunger because like during the summer when I'm intermittent fasting just regularly, almost all the time, um I wouldn't eat after 6
Yeah.
and I just wouldn't do it. And I think because I'd go for a walk at night, and when you start moving, you aren't hungry. You don't need to
Mhm.
self-soothe in this like way. So I think doing it having a live at this time of night, I can't just kind of, not lie to myself basically is the honest truth.
So Michelle, so today's day one.
Mhm.
What, like in your awareness, what is most present, in your mind or top of heart that you've discovered just on our very first day together?
Well, as you mentioned, giving the digestive system a rest, I've done a lot of studies about this. It sounds like you have too. And maybe what we can do is share some things as we go that we
Mhm.
have resources if people are interested. But I really believe that we weren't intended to eat constantly. And
Yeah.
it's good for us to have a rest. So on day one, like my stomach I've been really uncomfortable today in terms of, I just feel I've gained some weight and I don't feel good about that. I know that most of it is like masses of muscle. I'm kidding. I'm lying. I'm
She's so
totally
strong.
the things we tell ourselves. Well, I've been just working out so much. I mean, it is kind of true, but not like that. Not like anyone else would notice. Oh my God.
I, at one season of life, gained 10 pounds of muscle, and I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah.
dang proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's true that like my body is more muscular than it was a while ago, but it doesn't account for the bloating and the discomfort, and like I can barely fit in my clothes. I can't believe I'm sharing this, but I just don't feel good, And
Mhm.
so on the day one, I think it's really, I don't feel hungry at all,
Yeah.
nothing at all. And I am drinking a cup of tea here. So I don't know. I kind of think that after today, I'm not even going to have tea, but I was concerned about the caffeine because I drink so much coffee,
Mhm.
but I can't drink coffee because I put cream in my coffee. And I don't want to, the reason I want to be this strict this time, so I
Mhm.
think just water, is because anything from the insulin and the glucose and all of that, you can alter that chemistry within your body just with the taste of like using stevia or something.
Yeah.
And I really just want to not do that. I just feel like my body really needs a break. So yeah, I'm okay, just feeling really fat today.
You
I mean,
know,
that's
my
the truth. Just how I feel. When you feel that way, I just feel like,
yeah, just your body feels almost swollen or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I've been feeling
absolutely.
for a while.
For me, I think, well, there's one thing you said that I want to bring up, but the other thing that came up for me today is the sheer like nervousness, terrified, scary. Like it was really cool to take your hand. I felt like we were at like on a cliff, and you said, "Hey, I'm thinking about jumping." And I'm like, "Okay." And we held hands and we did it together. Made it so much easier, right? And it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, this is actually fun." Now I'm looking like I can say I jumped because I was looking forward to what would happen, but I also had all the nerves, like if we were jumping off a high bridge into that, beautiful water beneath us.
Yeah.
And now that I've splashed in, I'm all, oh, isn't it so true that it's so much more difficult to think about something than to do it, right? And to have that anticipation. And then the other thing that you talked about was how us not being designed to like eat all the time, but this kind of conditioning. And you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, and I was thinking about the weekly, monthly, biweekly paycheck that we get conditioned for. And yet there is so much growth and so much goodness that happens in the dips and rhythms. And yeah, I don't know, that just came into my awareness when you were talking, like that
Yeah.
we get conditioned for certain ways of doing life. So yeah.
Yeah. I've never done this with someone before. And usually, Lisa Michelle talks a lot about grief and shame with her clients. She works in that space. To the world, I'm speaking now. You know what you do. But so this is why shame is on the I don't know, in my field of awareness. But a lot of the reasons I've never done it with anyone, it's not so much shame, but I just don't like explaining myself. And there's so many things I've always done against like I've never had a paycheck like that. I've never had worked in corporate, so I never felt comfortable talking about that until now. All of a sudden, it's really popular. So again, trending topics saved by the trends. um,
I love though that you've always been the person ahead of the trend. And then
okay,
the
let's
trend
look at it like
catches
that.
up and gives you like, oh.
I just thought I was lonely. No, so I also just, when you tell someone you're fasting, immediately it's like telling someone how you voted, right? or you say if you're vaccinated or not. You're kind of opening the door for everyone's, like I was joking yesterday, YouTube University opinion. Okay. So that's great, but I just don't like dealing with that. And now here we're bringing it out live because now I find it interesting. And I guess I'm just so solid in who I am. I don't really care. I don't care what you think because I know enough. I've done it so many times. I homeschooled my kids, so now I can talk about it. I used to go into the grocery store and say, we're on a field trip because they'd be like, why aren't you in school? To your little kid, why aren't you in school today? Did you have to go to the dentist? Be like, we're on a field trip going to the grocery store. We're learning math today.
So funny.
Well, I know you understand because you did
absolutely. But I was, just the differences in personality, and I want to be mindful of the time. But I was the one that would be like, yeah, I homeschool. I'm always been what do you got to say? You want to talk?
Do you want me to convert you? Yeah. So
but,
anyway,
it's interesting because people do have so many opinions, and I'm saying newly married, but we're coming up on our 3-year wedding anniversary. And my hubby would see some of the things I did, and then it would send him in research mode because he was concerned. But now he's just been with me long enough he's just very trusting. Okay, I don't understand, but go you. I bought way less groceries.
Go do you, is that what he said?
Or just go you, but yeah,
go you. Oh, I get it. Go you. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And he's all, you know what you're doing, you're an adult, right? And I'm like, yep.
Well, so the idea here is really to do this. And then if anyone sees it, also, it's kind of a diary for us as an adventure, and to kind of keep notes on what was that like. And I think when I'm doing it alone, I get really in my head. And that's, when you get in your head, you're dead. At least I can get so overly analytical, and I'll start analyzing everything and questioning, and I get kind of weird about it. So I think this will also serve a purpose of just putting it out there. Maybe it'll help someone. Maybe it will grow more, because I know we always grow by sharing, and we are in a lot of conversations that I always learn a lot from. So I think it's just what we're doing.
And you said we're in a lot of conversations, and I want to invite people to join us. We are doing Courageous Conversations every Monday, and that's a very different format, but we welcome you because we talk about things that make us nervous. We talk about things that and I love that we are being stretched in curiosity and compassion and courage in all of this. And I feel like this journey is just undergirding it. It's just part of it.
Actually, we talk about things that make you all nervous. I mean, I'm joking, but yeah, we're just trying to open up. I think because we both are working in this midlife women's space, and there are a lot of platforms that are out there, and we're involved in a lot of similar ones, the same ones. And these things are popping up everywhere. It's big conversation. I'm doing a big interview series. Well, big for me, an interview series with big women, man, audacious women who have started businesses over 40, over 50, over 60. One woman, two actually, that I interviewed over 70. And some of that came out of seeing what Forbes was doing with 50 women over 50. So I think it is a really interesting conversation for us to have. We collectively don't usually go live and talk about stuff. We go hide away and talk with one person about it. So I do think it is something to explore.
Yeah.
courageously, and I'm growing a lot from it. And I think it's benefiting people out there. So
Yeah.
that's the idea. And do you want to share anything else? We'll be here every day at 6 Mountain Time, 5
5 p.m.
Pacific.
Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
Which is
And
important for me to reiterate for myself so that I show up on time.
yeah, I really want you to show up on time. No, it's the end of the day-ish, and even later, obviously, Eastern Standard Time. But it is just when we're going to just check in for a quick 10 minutes. Hey, if we can do that, I don't know. What was your day like? Where was it difficult and what happened? We're just going to kind of track that.
Yeah.
I am curious. So I know you said that you're doing this largely for, very holistic reasons. Are you are you focused at all on weight loss? Are you doing weigh-ins? Are you doing glucose? Are you tracking any of that kind of stuff? Measuring
No.
pictures every day, like 75 hard? Nothing like.
No, I'm not doing anything like that. What I am doing is it's genuinely for me a soulful connection to my body. You already mentioned I work in grief space. And so the deeper I've gone with myself, the more I access parts of me that come as a faint whisper. So that for me to hear her, I get to be deeply connected to myself. And so this will be more a time of me growing my meditation practice, growing my inner listening practice, and allowing parts of me that have maybe lived dormant within me, but are still taking energy from the subconscious to come and be integrated. So and then also, if I was doing this as a strictly spiritual practice, I wouldn't be doing it publicly because there's scriptures about that. But
Yeah.
because I am doing it more holistically, obviously, though, I do expect to experience conversations with Jesus in this process too. So I'll be looking forward to all that opens up to me and the struggles. I mean, part of this is allowing the obstacles to speak to me, letting that be information. And yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for asking. How about for you?
Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, I thought about it because, like, in the room we were in today, I think Nicolette was talking about 75 hard.
Oh yeah.
And I, as I mentioned, have had the joy of doing that many, many times because I could never finish the darn thing. But one of the most difficult things for me was taking a picture every day. Like, I'm not very good with, what do you call it? Like, accountability, like checking off the boxes and stuff. It really appeals to me. And I really like the idea of, like, I have it in my daytime or every day to check off. I only do 3 things because it's basically all I can handle. So I've never been very good about following through with that kind of recording the data. So I thought maybe it would be really good for me to do that. But I think I would set myself up to lose because intuitively, it's really more, like you said, it's about this holistic thing. I learn more about my emotional health and spiritual health when I fast than anything else. And it really is about that self-awareness, although my body just feels like crap right now. And I really know I need to, a reset. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
know
going
I
to
expect
wait.
within 3 days you're going to feel like a renewed person. And I cannot even imagine what we'll be like at the end of 10.
Well,
I want
yeah.
to be mindful of the time. We've been going
Yeah,
for 20 minutes, but
yeah. Let's
I'm
go ahead and
excited
let
to
it
see where
go.
this takes us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll be back tomorrow and we will be keeping it really short. We're not going to get into a long-winded thing, but I did want to kind of set the introduction. So
Yeah.
thank you. And I know you'll sleep well, and I'll see you tomorrow at
Yeah.
5,
See you tomorrow.
5 your
5.
time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.